The future Luna called me worthless until her mate chose me instead. The moon hung low over Silver Fong Pack territory, enormous and glowing like molten silver against the midnight sky. For everyone else, tonight was a celebration. For me, it was a reminder of exactly where I belonged. At the bottom. I tightened my grip on the heavy tray balanced in my hands as laughter echoed across the great hall. The annual Moon Ascension Banquet was the most important event of the year. Every ranked wolf in the pack attended. Warriors wore ceremonial black uniforms embroidered with silver thread. Elders sat at the high tables nearest the Alpha family. Noble bloodlines paraded around as if they owned the world. Maybe they did. I certainly didn't. Move faster, Omega. The sharp voice made me flinch. I lowered my eyes immediately. Sorry. The serving supervisor rolled her eyes. Sorry doesn't fill goblets. The wolves nearby laughed. Heat rushed into my face. I kept walking. Keep your head down. Keep moving. Don't make trouble. That had been my survival strategy for 21 years. It wasn't glamorous. But it worked. Usually. My name was Elara. I was an Omega. Not just any Omega. The pack's weakest Omega. At least according to everyone else. My parents had died when I was 7. A rogue attack. That was the official story. No one ever talked about them afterward. No one cared enough to. I grew up cleaning floors, carrying supplies, washing clothes, and enduring the constant reminder that I wasn't important. That I wasn't strong. That I wasn't wanted. The worst part? I had started believing it. The hall erupted with cheers. I glanced toward the center platform. Future Luna Vanessa had arrived. Of course. She always made an entrance. Vanessa Ashbourne was beautiful. Painfully beautiful. Long golden hair. Perfect posture. Perfect smile. Perfect bloodline. She was the daughter of Beta Ashbourne and the woman everyone expected would one day become Luna. Especially because she was destined to mate Alpha Heir Kael Blackthorne. At least that's what everyone believed. The entire pack adored her. Or feared her. Sometimes it was hard to tell the difference. Vanessa lifted her chin gracefully while wolves rushed to greet her. She basked in the attention. Then her eyes landed on me. The smile vanished. Great. Just great. She started walking directly toward me. My stomach dropped. Every instinct screamed danger. Vanessa never approached me unless she wanted something. Or unless she wanted an audience. Unfortunately, tonight she had both. The hall quieted slightly. People noticed. They always noticed when Vanessa focused on someone. Especially someone beneath her. Like me. I lowered my gaze immediately. Future Luna. Her expensive heels clicked against the floor. She stopped directly in front of me. Silence spread. I could practically feel dozens of wolves watching. Waiting. Vanessa tilted her head. Tell me, Elara. Here we go. What value do you actually provide to this pack? A few wolves chuckled. I stared at the floor. Excuse me? She smiled. The kind of smile that wasn't really a smile. I asked a simple question. More laughter. The humiliation burned. I work hard. Vanessa laughed outright. The sound was cruel. You work hard. More wolves joined in. She gestured toward me. She's an Omega. The word dripped with disgust. She can't fight. Laughter. Can't lead. More laughter. Can't contribute politically. Even more laughter. Every sentence felt like a blade. Vanessa folded her arms. So tell me. She stepped closer. What exactly are you good for? The room went silent. I wanted the floor to swallow me whole. I wanted to disappear. But most of all, I wanted the pain to stop. I don't know. The words escaped before I could stop them. A victorious smile crossed Vanessa's face. There it was. Exactly what she wanted. Submission. Confirmation. Proof that I believed every horrible thing she said. Because part of me did. Vanessa leaned closer. At least you're honest. The crowd laughed again. My wolf whimpered deep inside me. The sound nearly broke my heart. Vanessa turned dramatically toward the audience. You see, she announced loudly. Even she knows she's worthless. The room exploded with laughter. Worthless. The word echoed inside my chest. Worthless. 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 I swallowed hard. No tears. Not here. Not in front of them. Vanessa smiled triumphantly. Then she walked away. The crowd returned to their conversations. The entertainment was over. At least for them. For me, the humiliation lingered. Every second. Every breath. Every heartbeat. I quietly retreated toward the kitchen. No one stopped me. No one cared. That should have hurt. Instead, it felt normal. Inside the kitchen, the noise became muffled. I set the tray down and finally let myself breathe. Barely. My hands shook. I stared at them. Worthless. Maybe Vanessa was right. Maybe everyone was right. What was I good for? Nothing. A familiar voice interrupted my thoughts. Don't listen to her. I looked up. Mira stood in the doorway. My only friend. Another Omega. Though considerably braver than me. Mira frowned. Vanessa's horrible. I forced a weak smile. She isn't wrong. Myra's expression darkened. Don't. What? That? She pointed at me. That thing you do. I blinked. What thing? The thing where you believe every cruel word people say. I looked away. Because she wasn't wrong either. Mira sighed. One day they're going to regret treating you this way. I nearly laughed. That won't happen. It will. No. I shook my head. People like Vanessa don't regret anything. Mira opened her mouth. Then froze. Her eyes widened. Looking behind me, I turned. And nearly dropped to my knees. Alpha Kael Blackthorne stood in the doorway. The future Alpha. The most powerful wolf in the pack. Tall. Broad-shouldered. Dark-haired. Golden-eyed. Every female in Silverfang dreamed about him. Including Vanessa. Especially Vanessa. Kael rarely entered the servants' area. Never alone. Yet here he was. Looking directly at me. My heart skipped. Just once. Then resumed pounding. Kael's expression was unreadable. Mira immediately bowed. I followed. Alpha Heir. Kael nodded. His gaze lingered on me. Something strange flashed through his eyes. Recognition. Confusion. Shock. Then it vanished. What is your name? The question stunned me. Surely he knew. Didn't he? Probably not. People like him never noticed people like me. Elara. His jaw tightened. For a second, the air felt different. Charged. Electric. Then footsteps echoed from the hall. Vanessa. She appeared moments later. Her face brightened instantly. Kael. She moved toward him. Beautiful. Confident. Certain. Exactly what a future Luna should be. Kael barely looked at her. Something I had never seen before. Vanessa noticed too. Her smile faltered. Everything okay? Kael's eyes remained on me. That strange tension returned. Then he finally nodded. Yes. Vanessa slipped her arm through his. Possessive. Claiming. Territorial. The entire pack expected them to become mates. Expected them to rule together. Expected their future. Yet Kael still looked distracted. Still staring at me. I didn't understand. Neither did Vanessa. The future Luna's expression darkened. Only for a moment. But I saw it. And for the first time all night, I felt something dangerous. Hope. Far away, beyond the banquet hall, beyond the celebration, beyond the expectations of an entire pack. Fate had already begun moving. And neither Vanessa nor I had any idea that everything was about to change. The rest of the banquet passed in a blur. I stayed hidden inside the kitchen whenever possible. Unfortunately, avoiding attention had become significantly harder after Alpha Heir Kael Blackthorne had asked for my name. It should have been a meaningless interaction. A simple question. Nothing more. Yet every servant in the kitchen had witnessed it. And servants talked. Fast. By midnight, whispers were spreading through Silverfang Pack like wildfire. Why did Kael ask about Elara? Did you see the way he looked at her? Vanessa seemed furious. Something felt strange. I hated every second of it. Attention was dangerous. Attention brought trouble. And trouble always found its way back to people like me. By the time the banquet finally ended, exhaustion weighed heavily on my shoulders. I gathered empty dishes and carried them toward the storage building behind the hall. The night air felt cool against my skin. The moon remained high above. Bright. Beautiful. Silent. Unlike my thoughts. They refused to quiet down. Especially whenever I remembered the way Kael had looked at me. No. Not looked at me. Recognized me. As if he'd seen something unexpected. Something impossible. I shook my head. Ridiculous. A future Alpha would never be interested in an Omega servant. Never. The universe simply didn't work that way. I pushed open the storage room door and stepped inside. Darkness greeted me. I reached for a lantern. The flame flickered to life and immediately illuminated someone standing in the corner. I gasped. The tray slipped from my hands. Crash. Plates shattered across the floor. The figure stepped forward. Golden eyes. Dark hair. Broad shoulders. My heart nearly stopped. Kael. What was he doing here? Alone? At this hour? The future Alpha stared at me silently. Neither of us moved. Neither of us spoke. The tension in the room became unbearable. Finally, I found my voice. Alpha Heir. His expression tightened. Stop calling me that. I blinked. What? Call me Kael. I nearly choked. No. One dark eyebrow rose. No, that would be disrespectful. A faint smile touched his lips. The expression transformed his entire face. It made him look younger. Warmer. Dangerously handsome. I don't mind. I do. The smile grew. For some reason, that seemed to amuse him. Kael took another step closer. My wolf stirred uneasily. Not from fear. From awareness. Something about him felt different tonight. Stronger. More intense. As if invisible threads connected us. Impossible. Yet undeniable. Kael studied me carefully. You were crying. Heat rushed into my face. Of course he noticed. Wonderful. I looked away. No. You were. I hated how gentle his voice sounded. Gentleness made everything worse. Cruelty was easier to endure. Cruelty expected nothing. Gentleness made me want things. Things I could never have. I'll be fine. Kael's jaw clenched. No one should speak to you the way Vanessa did. The words shocked me. Not because they were true. Because he said them. No one defended me. Ever. Not publicly. Not privately. Not at all. Yet here stood the future Alpha, visibly angry on my behalf. It made no sense. She didn't mean it. The lie tasted bitter. Kael's eyes narrowed. She absolutely meant it. I couldn't argue. Because he was right. Silence stretched between us. Then something strange happened. A sudden gust of wind swept through the room. The lantern flame danced violently. My wolf surged forward inside me. Awake. Alert. Excited. At the exact same moment, Kael froze. His eyes widened. The air changed. Everything changed. The bond hit us like lightning. I stumbled backward. A gasp escaped my lips. Kael looked just as shocked. No. The word came from both of us simultaneously. My wolf practically howled. Mate. The realization crashed through me. Mate. 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 The future Alpha was my mate. The most powerful wolf in Silver Fang. The man destined for Vanessa. The future Alpha. My mate. My knees nearly gave out. This couldn't be happening. It was impossible. Completely impossible. Kael stared at me. The same disbelief reflected in his eyes. The mate bond pulsed between us. Strong. Ancient. Unbreakable. I backed away. Then again. Then again. No. My voice trembled. This is wrong. Kael stepped forward. It's not wrong. Yes, it is. Panic flooded my chest. You can't be my mate. His expression darkened. Why not? The answer was obvious. I laughed bitterly. Look at me. His eyes softened. I am. The simple response somehow hurt more. Because he wasn't looking at me the way everyone else did. He wasn't seeing weakness. Or failure. Or worthlessness. He was seeing me. And that terrified me. You're the future Alpha. I pointed toward the hall. Vanessa is your future Luna. A shadow crossed his face. No. The single word felt like thunder. What? Vanessa is not my mate. The truth hung between us. Heavy. Unavoidable. Devastating. Because if Vanessa wasn't his mate, then I was. And everything was about to explode. Suddenly, footsteps sounded outside. Both of us froze. Voices followed. Several wolves. Getting closer. Kael reacted instantly. He grabbed my hand. My entire body jolted from the contact. Electricity shot through the mate bond. I nearly lost my breath. This way. Before I could protest, he pulled me behind a stack of storage crates. The door opened moments later. Voices entered. I recognized them immediately. Vanessa. And two of her friends. Wonderful. Exactly what we needed. Vanessa sounded irritated. I know I saw him come this way. My heart pounded. Kael stood inches away from me. Far too close. The scent of pine and rain surrounded him. Warm. Comforting. Dangerous. My wolf wanted to lean closer. I wanted to run. Vanessa continued searching the room. Kael. Silence. She sounded annoyed. Where are you? The future Luna moved closer. Much closer. If she took 3 more steps, she would find us. And if she found us, everything would change. I held my breath. Kael remained perfectly still. Vanessa stopped. Directly on the other side of the crates. My heart thundered so loudly I was certain she could hear it. 1 more step. Just one. Then another voice called from outside. Vanessa. She turned. What? Alpha wants to see you. The irritation in her voice returned. Now. Immediately. Vanessa groaned dramatically. After one final glance around the room, she walked away. The door closed. Silence returned. I released a shaky breath. Kael looked down at me. We were still standing far too close. His hand still held mine. Neither of us moved. Neither of us spoke. The mate bond hummed between us. Powerful. Unavoidable. Real. Finally, Kael released my hand. Reluctantly. As if part of him didn't want to. Maybe part of me didn't either. The realization startled me. Dangerous thought. Very dangerous. Kael's expression became serious. Vanessa cannot know yet. I nodded immediately. Agreed. His eyes searched mine. You want to hide it? Did I? The answer should have been obvious. Yet something inside me hurt. Because hiding it meant pretending it didn't exist. Pretending he wasn't my mate. Pretending fate hadn't chosen us. Still, reality mattered more than dreams. I'm an Omega. I forced the words out. The pack will never accept me. Kael's jaw tightened. They'll accept whatever I decide. I almost smiled. He truly believed that. But he underestimated how deeply Silver Fang worshipped status. Bloodlines. Power. Reputation. And Vanessa had all 3. I had none. A distant bell rang from the Alpha house. Kael sighed. I have to go. Relief and disappointment hit me simultaneously. Confusing. Unwelcome. Dangerous. Before leaving, Kael paused. Then he stepped closer. Very close. My breath caught. The future Alpha lowered his voice. Listen carefully, Elara. I looked up. Golden eyes met mine. Steady. Certain. Protective. No matter what happens next. The mate bond pulsed. You are not worthless. My throat tightened instantly. Because nobody had ever said those words to me before. Not once. Not in 21 years. Kael held my gaze another second. Then he left. The door closed behind him. And I stood alone in the storage room. Heart racing. Soul shaken. Life changed forever. Outside, Silver Fang Pack slept peacefully beneath the moon. Unaware that fate had just rewritten its future. And unaware that the woman who called me worthless was about to lose everything she thought belonged to her. I didn't sleep. Not even for a minute. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Kael's face. Every time I drifted toward sleep, I heard the same impossible word echoing through my mind. Mate. The future Alpha. My mate. It still sounded absurd. Like a fantasy invented by lonely wolves who wanted to believe destiny cared about them. Destiny had never cared about me before. Why would it start now? The tiny room I lived in felt even smaller than usual. A narrow bed. A wooden dresser. A single window overlooking the servant quarters. Nothing special. Nothing valuable. Nothing that suggested fate had chosen me for anything important. Yet the mate bond remained. I could feel it, like a warm thread stretching through the darkness, connecting me to Kael somewhere beyond the walls. Real, unmistakable, permanent. A knock at the door shattered my thoughts. I jumped. The sun had barely risen. Who would be here this early? Another knock. More impatient this time. I opened the door. Mira practically fell inside. Her eyes were enormous. Her hair looked like she'd run across half the territory, which, knowing Mira, was entirely possible. Tell me I'm wrong. I blinked. What? She grabbed both my shoulders. Tell me Alpha Kael is not your mate. My soul left my body. Oh no. Mira groaned dramatically. Oh no means yes. Keep your voice down. She stared. Then stared some more. Then screamed. I lunged forward and covered her mouth. Mira. She removed my hand. You found the future Alpha as your mate. Stop saying it like that. How am I supposed to say it? She pointed wildly. The most powerful unmated wolf in Silver Fong found his mate, and somehow it's you. I sank onto the bed. The situation sounded even crazier when she described it. Mira sat beside me. The excitement faded. Concern replaced it. What are you going to do? That was the problem. I had no idea. Nothing. She frowned. Nothing. I'll stay away from him. Mira looked horrified. That's your plan? Yes. That's a terrible plan. I know. She sighed. The bond won't let you ignore each other forever. I knew that too. Mate bonds weren't suggestions. They were instincts woven into wolf souls. The longer mates remained apart, the stronger the pull became. Eventually, separation became painful. Sometimes unbearable. Another problem. As if I needed more. Mira suddenly froze. Her expression changed. Fear. Pure fear. What? She pointed toward the window. I followed her gaze. And my blood turned cold. Vanessa. Standing outside. Watching the building. Watching my room. Watching me. The future Luna's expression was unreadable, which somehow felt worse than anger. Much worse. Because Vanessa wasn't stupid. Far from it. She noticed things. Connected dots. And she was extremely protective of what she considered hers. Including Kael. A chill ran down my spine. What does she know? Mira whispered. I don't know. But I had a horrible feeling we were about to find out. 3 hours later, I was carrying linens toward the Alpha house when someone stepped directly into my path. Vanessa. Of course. She smiled. The sight instantly made me nervous. Because Vanessa only smiled like that when she was planning something. Elara. I lowered my gaze. Future Luna. Walk with me. My stomach dropped. That wasn't a request. It was an order. Several nearby wolves immediately stopped what they were doing. Watching. Listening. Waiting. Wonderful. Exactly what I needed. I followed Vanessa down a garden path behind the Alpha house. The moment we were alone, her smile disappeared. Like a mask falling away. Cold eyes locked onto mine. Interesting night. I said nothing. Vanessa folded her arms. You seem different. Still nothing. She stepped closer. Did something happen after the banquet? My heartbeat accelerated. Danger. Every instinct screamed danger. No. The lie sounded weak. Vanessa noticed. Of course she did. Her eyes narrowed. You're lying. I looked away. Silence stretched. Then Vanessa laughed softly. Not kindly. Not warmly. Cruelly. You really think you can hide things from me? I swallowed hard. She circled me slowly. Like a predator examining prey. You've always been easy to read. Another circle. Too quiet. Another step. Too weak. Another. Too insignificant. Each word struck like a slap. Then she stopped directly in front of me. Her voice lowered. Did Kael speak to you? My stomach twisted. There it was. The real question. The one she'd wanted answered all along. I forced myself to remain calm. Only briefly. Vanessa studied me, searching for something. Then suddenly. Slap. Pain exploded across my cheek. I stumbled backward. Shock flooded through me. Vanessa had hit me before. Many times. But never this hard. Never with this much rage. I touched my cheek. The skin burned. Vanessa's eyes glittered. Know your place. I stared at her. For years, I would have lowered my head. Apologized. Accepted it. But something had changed. Something inside me refused to bend. Maybe it was Kael. Maybe it was the bond. Maybe it was hearing someone tell me I wasn't worthless. Whatever it was. The old Elara felt farther away than ever. Vanessa noticed the difference instantly. Why are you looking at me like that? I didn't answer. Because I wasn't sure. The future Luna took another step forward. Then froze. Her nose twitched. Once. Twice. A wolf's scent detection. My blood turned to ice. No. No, no, no. Please no. Vanessa's eyes widened. She smelled it. The mate bond. Faint. Fresh. Hidden beneath everything else. But there. Recognition flashed across her face. Then horror. Then disbelief. Then fury. Pure fury. The world seemed to stop turning. Vanessa stared at me. I stared back. Neither of us spoke. Because neither of us wanted to say it. Finally, her voice emerged. Barely a whisper. Who? I remained silent. Wrong answer. Vanessa grabbed my arm painfully. Who? Fear shot through me. But I still said nothing. Because speaking the truth would be like setting fire to the entire pack. Vanessa's breathing became uneven. Then realization dawned. Slowly. Terribly. Her eyes widened. No. The word sounded broken. No. She stepped backward. The pieces were falling into place. Kael asking my name. Kael ignoring her. Kael disappearing during the banquet. Kael looking distracted afterward. The scent. The bond. The impossible truth. Vanessa finally understood. And the moment she did, I saw something terrifying. Not sadness. Not heartbreak. Hatred. Deep. Burning. Dangerous hatred. For me. You. Her voice shook. You. I backed away. Vanessa laughed. The sound bordered on madness. The moon goddess chose you? I flinched. Several birds scattered from nearby trees. Vanessa's rage radiated through the garden. This is a joke. She pointed at me. A servant. Another step. An omega. Another. A nobody. Each word dripped with venom. Then she smiled. And somehow that frightened me more. Because the smile wasn't angry. It was calculating. Cold. Strategic. Vanessa had stopped reacting. She had started planning. And that was infinitely worse. You should reject him. The statement stunned me. What? You heard me. Vanessa's voice became silky. Dangerously calm. Reject the bond. I laughed bitterly. You know I can't. She grabbed my chin. Forced me to look at her. Then disappear. My breath caught. What? Leave. Vanessa's eyes hardened. Leave Silverfang. The threat hung between us. Clear as moonlight. If you stay. She leaned closer. I will make your life so miserable you'll beg for exile. For a moment neither of us moved. Then footsteps echoed nearby. Vanessa released me immediately. The perfect smile returned. Like nothing had happened. Like she hadn't just threatened me. A group of wolves approached. Vanessa greeted them warmly. Beautifully. Perfectly. The future Luna everyone adored. No one saw the monster beneath the mask. No one except me. As she walked away, she glanced back once. Only once. But it was enough. The message was clear. The war had begun. And I was completely unprepared for it. Far across the territory, the mate bond suddenly pulsed. Strong. Protective. Possessive. As if Kael somehow sensed my fear. As if he knew something was wrong. I pressed a trembling hand against my chest. Because for the first time, I realized something terrifying. Vanessa wasn't going to give up. Not ever. And if she couldn't have Kael, she might destroy anyone who stood in her way. Including me. The days that followed became a nightmare. Not the kind filled with monsters lurking in darkness. The kind where the monster smiled at you in daylight while everyone else applauded. Vanessa moved carefully. Strategically. She never attacked me directly in public. That would damage her perfect image. Instead, she turned the pack against me piece by piece. Whispers followed me everywhere. Conversations stopped when I entered rooms. Warriors stared. Servants avoided me. Even wolves who had once ignored my existence now looked at me with suspicion. The rumors spread fast. Dangerously fast. Nobody knew the full truth. But everyone sensed something had changed. And wolves hated mysteries. Especially when those mysteries involved power. By the end of the week, half the pack believed I was secretly trying to seduce Kael. The other half believed I had somehow manipulated him. Neither group was correct. But truth rarely mattered when gossip became entertainment. I carried laundry through the courtyard one afternoon when several young she-wolves deliberately stepped into my path. I recognized them immediately. Vanessa's closest followers. They smiled. The sight made my stomach tighten. Look who it is. Another laughed. The servant thinks she's special now. The third crossed her arms. Careful. She might become Luna. The group erupted into mocking laughter. I lowered my eyes and tried to walk around them. One of them shoved me. Hard. I stumbled. The basket slipped from my hands. Freshly cleaned clothes scattered across the dirt. More laughter. The humiliation burned. Just like it always did. Yet this time something felt different. Because somewhere deep inside me, a small voice whispered, "You don't deserve this." The realization startled me. For years, I had accepted cruelty as normal. Expected it. Endured it. Now part of me wanted to fight back. The she-wolf nearest me kicked dirt onto the clean laundry. Oops. Her friends laughed again. I clenched my fists. Not out of fear. Out of anger. Real anger. Perhaps for the first time in my life. The she-wolf noticed. Her smile vanished. What? I met her eyes. A dangerous move. An omega challenging a higher-ranked wolf. Gasps sounded nearby. Several wolves had stopped to watch. The she-wolf took a threatening step forward. Do you have a problem? Before I could answer, another voice cut through the courtyard. Cold. Sharp. Powerful. Yes. Every wolf froze instantly. Including me. The crowd parted. Kael walked forward. The future alpha's expression was darker than I had ever seen. The atmosphere changed immediately. Predators recognized stronger predators. And Kael stood above all of them. Fear flashed across the she-wolf's face. Alpha Heir. Kael ignored her. His gaze landed on the dirt-covered laundry. Then on my scraped hands. Then on the wolves surrounding me. The temperature seemed to drop. What happened here? Nobody answered. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Kael took another step. Answer me. The command carried alpha authority. Even before becoming alpha, his dominance was overwhelming. One of the girls stammered. It was an accident. Kael looked unconvinced. Because it wasn't convincing. Not even slightly. His golden eyes shifted toward me. Elara. The simple sound of my name made the crowd tense. Everyone noticed. Everyone watched. I wished the ground would open beneath me. What happened? The entire courtyard waited. I could expose them. Tell the truth. Watch them face consequences. Part of me wanted to. But another part knew what would happen afterward. Retaliation. More rumors. More hatred. More trouble. So I did what I always did. I protected everyone except myself. Nothing. Kael's jaw tightened immediately. He knew I was lying. The girls looked relieved. The crowd relaxed slightly. Then Kael surprised everyone. Including me. He bent down. Picked up one of the dirty shirts. Then stood. His eyes swept across the watching wolves. Cold. Disappointed. Dangerous. If I ever see pack members abusing those beneath them again. Silence filled the courtyard. They will answer directly to me. Nobody missed the threat. Nobody doubted it. The girls turned pale. Kael handed the shirt to me. Our fingers brushed. The mate bond surged instantly. A spark. A pulse. A connection. Tiny. Yet powerful. Vanessa's followers noticed. So did everyone else. The silence deepened. Kael held my gaze for 1 second too long. Then walked away. The crowd remained frozen until he disappeared. Only then did whispers explode around us. And I realized something terrible. Kael had just made everything worse. That evening, the rumors reached new heights. Mira burst into my room carrying enough panic for both of us. It's bad. I looked up from my bed. How bad? She sat beside me. People are talking. I groaned. When are they not? No. Mira shook her head. This is different. My stomach dropped. What are they saying? Mira hesitated, which meant I wasn't going to like the answer. Finally, she sighed. They think Kael is interested in you. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I buried my face in my hands. Mira continued. Some wolves think he's planning to reject Vanessa. The room suddenly felt smaller. Much smaller. That's impossible. Mira didn't look convinced. Neither was I. The problem wasn't whether Kael cared about me. The problem was whether he would choose the mate bond over pack expectations. And I didn't know the answer. A knock interrupted us. Both of us froze. Nobody visited me. Ever. Another knock. More insistent this time. Mira opened the door. Then immediately stepped backward. Eyes wide. Heart pounding, I stood. Kael filled the doorway. Alone. Again. Mira looked between us. Then wisely escaped before either of us could speak. The door closed behind her, leaving us alone. My pulse accelerated. What are you doing here? Kael entered. His expression looked troubled. I need to talk to you. Those words never led anywhere good. What happened? Kael ran a hand through his dark hair. For the first time since meeting him, he looked exhausted. Not physically. Emotionally. The sight worried me. Then he said the words that changed everything. My father wants me to announce my mating ceremony. The room went silent. My heart stopped. Then shattered. Of course. Of course this was happening. The future Alpha had responsibilities. Expectations. A future. And none of it included me. I forced myself to smile. The effort nearly killed me. Congratulations. Kael stared. As if I'd insulted him. Did you hear what I said? Yes. I looked away. He wants you to announce your mating ceremony. The pain inside my chest became unbearable. Yet I kept speaking. Because stopping meant crying. And I refused to cry. Not again. With Vanessa. Kael crossed the room in 2 steps. Suddenly he stood directly in front of me. Not with Vanessa. I looked up. His eyes burned with intensity. With my mate. The bond pulsed. Hard. My breath caught. The room seemed to shrink around us. Kael. My father doesn't know yet. His voice lowered. But he will. Fear crashed into me. No. His expression hardened. Yes. You can't. I can. I backed away. Then again. Then again. Panic surged. Your father will never accept me. He'll have no choice. Your pack won't accept me. I don't care. The words sounded absolute. Certain. Dangerous. My chest tightened. Because part of me desperately wanted to believe him. Wanted to trust him. Wanted to imagine a future where fate actually chose me. But reality was crueler than dreams. Kael. My voice trembled. You could have anyone. His expression softened instantly. No. He stepped closer. Only inches separated us now. I could only have my mate. The sincerity in his voice nearly broke me. Nobody had ever chosen me before. Nobody. Not once. Yet here stood the future Alpha. Choosing me. Again. And again. And again. A knock suddenly thundered against the door. The sound made both of us jump. Then came a voice. Cold. Furious. Terrifying. Kael. Vanessa. My blood froze. Kael's expression darkened instantly. The future Luna had found us. And judging by her voice, she wasn't alone. Outside, multiple wolves were gathering. Watching. Listening. Waiting. Vanessa spoke again. Louder this time. So the rumors are true. Silence filled the room. Then came the final words. The words that signaled the beginning of a disaster. Open the door. The mate bond pulsed sharply. A warning. An omen. A storm approaching. And for the first time, I realized there would be no hiding anymore. The truth was about to come into the light. And Silverfang Pack would never be the same again. The knock came again. Harder. Louder. More demanding. Open the door, Kael. Vanessa's voice echoed through the hallway. Several wolves were gathered outside now. I could smell them. Hear them shifting nervously. Whispering. Waiting for drama. Waiting for scandal. Waiting for proof. My heart pounded so violently I thought it might burst. Kael remained calm. At least on the surface. But I could feel the tension flowing through the mate bond. He was angry. Very angry. Not at me. At the situation. At Vanessa. At the entire pack for forcing us into this impossible position. Another knock. This one sounded like a threat. Kael. I looked toward the door. Then back at him. We should open it. His jaw tightened. No. My eyes widened. What? No. The single word carried alpha authority. Even I felt it. Kael took a slow breath. Then looked directly at me. I won't let her corner you. The statement stunned me. Because protecting me wasn't supposed to be his priority. Not according to the pack. Not according to tradition. Not according to common sense. Yet here he was. Choosing me again. The realization warmed something deep inside my chest. And terrified me at the same time. Because every time he chose me, Vanessa hated me more. The door rattled violently. Vanessa was losing patience. Finally Kael moved. Not toward the door. Toward the window. What are you doing? We're leaving. I stared. Surely I had misheard. What? He opened the window. Cool evening air rushed inside. Kael looked back at me. Come on. I blinked. You want us to climb out the window? Yes. Like criminals? A faint smile appeared. Exactly like criminals. Despite everything, a laugh escaped me. A real laugh. The first one in days. Kael's expression softened immediately. As if hearing me laugh mattered. As if it meant something. The realization sent warmth through the mate bond. Outside, Vanessa pounded on the door again. That settled it. Kael offered his hand. My wolf instantly surged forward. Take it. Trust him. Go. My human side hesitated. But only for a moment. Then I placed my hand in his. And together we climbed through the window. 10 minutes later we stood deep within the forest. The sounds of the pack had faded. The tension had not. Moonlight filtered through towering trees. Silver beams danced across the forest floor. The night felt peaceful. Beautiful. Almost magical. For the first time in days, I could breathe. Kael walked beside me silently. Neither of us seemed eager to return. Eventually, I glanced at him. You realize Vanessa is probably furious. He snorted. Probably. I smiled despite myself. The future alpha looked surprisingly relaxed. Away from the pack. Away from expectations. Away from politics. Out here, he looked less like a future ruler and more like a man. A man who happened to be my mate. Dangerous thought. Very dangerous. Kael noticed my smile. His expression softened. You should do that more often. What? Smile. Heat immediately flooded my face. I looked away. The bond hummed warmly. Embarrassingly warmly. Kael chuckled. The sound sent butterflies through my stomach. Which was extremely inconvenient. We walked deeper into the forest. The silence became comfortable. Easy. Natural. As though we'd known each other much longer than a few days. Finally Kael spoke. I used to see you. The comment surprised me. What? He nodded. Not often. A thoughtful look crossed his face. But I noticed you. I nearly tripped over a root. Impossible. Why? Kael looked genuinely confused by the question. Why wouldn't I? Because nobody noticed me. Because I was invisible. Because I wasn't important. The answers rose automatically. Then stopped. Because Kael wasn't asking sarcastically. He genuinely didn't understand. You were always helping people. His voice was quiet. You stayed late after training sessions to clean up. I blinked. How did he know that? You carried supplies for injured warriors. Another memory. Another thing nobody had noticed. Except apparently him. You helped Elder Rowan after his leg injury. I stared. The old wolf had fallen on icy stairs 3 winters ago. Nobody else remembered. Kael did. The future alpha smiled faintly. You thought nobody saw. Emotion tightened my throat. Because he was right. I had thought nobody saw. For years. Yet somehow. He had. The bond pulsed gently. Warm. Comforting. Dangerously comforting. For several minutes neither of us spoke. Then Kael stopped walking. I turned. His expression had changed. More serious now. More intense. The kind of look that made my heart race. Elara. My pulse accelerated. Yes. I need to tell you something. Suddenly I wasn't sure I wanted to hear it. Not because I feared the truth. Because I feared hope. Hope hurt when it died. Kael stepped closer. Moonlight illuminated his face. His golden eyes seemed almost luminous. My father has arranged a gathering tomorrow. My stomach tightened. Why? His answer came immediately. To announce my future Luna. The words felt like a knife. Even though I already knew. Even though I expected it. Pain still spread through my chest. Kael saw it. The realization darkened his expression. Not Vanessa. My gaze snapped upward. What? His eyes locked onto mine. Steady. Certain. Unshakable. I'm announcing you. The world stopped. Completely. No sound. No movement. No thought. Nothing. Surely I had misunderstood. You can't. I can. Kael. I can. His voice carried absolute certainty. The kind possessed only by alphas. Or fools. Possibly both. Fear crashed through me. No. Kael frowned. No. The word sounded genuinely confusing to him. As though nobody had ever told him no before. Maybe nobody had. I took a shaky breath. The pack will revolt. They won't. They hate me. His jaw tightened. Then they'll learn. The confidence should have reassured me. Instead it terrified me. Because Kael underestimated the depth of Silverfang's prejudice. He underestimated Vanessa. Most importantly, he underestimated what people would do to protect power. I looked away. What if they refuse? Kael stepped closer. What if they don't? What if your father rejects me? His expression hardened. He won't. How do you know? The future Alpha answered without hesitation. Because if he forces me to choose between being Alpha and abandoning my mate. His eyes burned with determination. He won't like my decision. My breath caught. The implication stunned me. Kael would walk away. From power. From leadership. From everything. For me. The realization shook me deeply. Nobody had ever chosen me first. Not once. Not until now. Before I could respond, a powerful howl echoed through the forest. Both of us froze. The howl came again. Urgent. Summoning. Official. Pack-wide. Kael's expression darkened immediately. That's from the Alpha House. A second howl followed. Then a third. My stomach dropped. Something was wrong. Very wrong. Kael's instincts clearly agreed. Stay behind me. Fear flooded my chest. We ran. The mate bond guiding us together through the forest. Past ancient trees. Past moonlit clearings. Past startled wildlife. Toward Silverfang territory. Toward trouble. Toward whatever disaster awaited us. 20 minutes later the Alpha House came into view. And my blood turned cold. Half the pack was gathered outside. Dozens of wolves. Warriors. Elders. Betas. Even servants. Everyone looked shocked. Confused. Afraid. The crowd parted immediately when Kael arrived. Whispers erupted. I followed behind him. Heart racing. Then I saw Vanessa. Standing near the Alpha. Crying. Trembling. Broken. Or pretending to be. With Vanessa, it was difficult to tell. The future Luna looked directly at Kael. Then pointed at me. And spoke the words that changed everything. She attacked me. Silence exploded across the courtyard. My entire world tilted sideways. What? The accusation hung in the air. Heavy. Dangerous. Impossible. Yet dozens of wolves immediately believed it. I saw it happen. In their eyes. In their expressions. In their judgment. Because Vanessa was beloved. And I was not. The future Luna began crying harder. Convincingly. Expertly. Terrifyingly. The Alpha looked furious. Several warriors glared at me. Others whispered. The situation spiraled out of control within seconds. And suddenly I understood. Vanessa wasn't trying to separate me from Kael anymore. She was trying to destroy me. Completely. And judging by the crowd's reaction, she might succeed. The accusation echoed across the courtyard. She attacked me. For a moment, nobody moved. Nobody spoke. The entire pack seemed frozen beneath the moonlight. Then chaos erupted. What? Elara attacked Vanessa? Impossible. No, maybe not. I always knew something was wrong with her. The whispers spread like wildfire. Each one cut deeper than the last. I stood motionless. Shocked. Speechless. Because I hadn't even seen Vanessa since earlier that day. Yet somehow she had convinced half the pack that I had attacked her. And judging by the tears streaming down her face, she had come prepared. The Alpha stepped forward. His silver-streaked hair gleamed beneath the moon. His expression was thunderous. Vanessa. His voice carried authority. Tell us exactly what happened. Vanessa lowered her eyes. Perfectly vulnerable. Perfectly tragic. Perfectly believable. I didn't want to say anything. A few wolves immediately murmured support. Of course they did. Vanessa sniffled. Then continued. I found Elara near the gardens. Her voice trembled. We argued. She paused dramatically. Then touched her wrist. Several red marks covered the skin. My stomach dropped. She had done that herself. She had to have. Yet proving it would be impossible. Vanessa wiped away a tear. She grabbed me. Gasps erupted throughout the crowd. The Alpha's expression darkened. I tried to walk away. More tears. But she became angry. The lies flowed effortlessly. Like she had rehearsed them. Maybe she had. Vanessa looked toward me. Painfully convincing heartbreak filled her eyes. I don't know why she hates me. The crowd immediately turned against me. I felt it happen. Like a wave. Like a storm. Like drowning. Then Kael stepped forward. Everything stopped. The future Alpha's expression was terrifying. Not angry. Not upset. Furious. The kind of fury that made warriors instinctively retreat. His golden eyes locked onto Vanessa. You're lying. The words landed like thunder. Shock rippled through the crowd. Nobody had expected that. Especially Vanessa. For the first time all evening, her composure cracked. Only slightly. But enough. The future Luna recovered quickly. Kael. No. His voice cut through hers. Sharp. Absolute. You're lying. Silence followed. Heavy. Dangerous silence. Vanessa stared. Disbelief spread across her face. Because Kael had never challenged her publicly before. Never humiliated her. Never chosen another side. Until now. The future Luna's eyes slowly shifted toward me. The hatred there made my blood run cold. The Alpha noticed. So did several elders. And for the first time, doubt entered the crowd. Vanessa sensed it immediately. Panic flashed briefly across her face. Then disappeared. She changed tactics. Fast. Clever. Dangerous. I understand. Her voice broke. Heartbreak filled every syllable. The performance was almost impressive. Almost. I understand why you're defending her. The crowd looked confused. Vanessa took a shaky breath. Then dropped the bomb. You love her. Gasps erupted everywhere. The entire courtyard exploded into whispers. Kael didn't deny it. That shocked everyone even more. Including me. The Alpha looked between us. His expression became unreadable. The elders exchanged uneasy glances. Vanessa saw it happening. Saw the attention shifting. Saw control slipping away. Desperation entered her eyes. Then she made a mistake. A very big mistake. She pointed directly at me. She's manipulating him. The accusation echoed. Several wolves frowned. Not because the statement was impossible. Because it didn't make sense. I was an Omega. A servant. A nobody. How exactly was I supposed to manipulate the strongest wolf in the territory? The logic fell apart immediately. The Alpha noticed. His eyes narrowed. Vanessa kept talking. Trying harder. Talking faster. Digging deeper. Making things worse. She planned this. The crowd grew quieter. She wants power. More silence. She wants the Luna title. Nobody reacted. Because everyone knew me. Not well, but enough. And the idea of me secretly plotting political conquest was absurd. Vanessa finally realized she was losing them. Too late. The damage was done. Kael stepped forward. Enough. The command carried alpha dominance. The entire courtyard instantly fell silent. Vanessa froze. The future alpha looked toward his father. Then toward the crowd. Then finally toward me. The mate bond surged. Strong. Unavoidable. Terrifying. Kael took a deep breath and spoke the words that changed Silverfang forever. Elara is my mate. Silence. Absolute silence. The world stopped. Nobody breathed. Nobody moved. Nobody blinked. Then the shockwave hit. Chaos exploded. What? Impossible. No. The moon goddess made a mistake. An omega? The future Luna is an omega? Voices erupted everywhere. The courtyard became a storm. Fear. Confusion. Disbelief. Anger. Judgment. All crashing together. The Alpha looked stunned. The elders looked horrified. The warriors looked confused. Vanessa looked shattered. The future Luna stared at Kael, as though he had stabbed her through the heart. Maybe he had. Then she laughed. A single broken laugh. No. Nobody responded. Vanessa shook her head. No. Tears streamed down her face. This isn't happening. Kael's expression remained firm. It is. The finality in his voice struck like a hammer. Vanessa backed away. Then again. Then again. The crowd parted around her. Watching. Waiting. The future Luna's entire world was collapsing. The title she expected. The future she planned. The power she desired. Gone. All of it. Gone. And she knew exactly who to blame. Me. Her gaze locked onto mine. The hatred there was unlike anything I had ever seen. Pure. Burning. Obsessive. Dangerous. Then suddenly, she shifted. Gasps erupted. Bones cracked. Muscles expanded. Fur exploded across her body. Within seconds, a massive white wolf stood where Vanessa had been. Several wolves screamed. The Alpha shouted, "Vanessa!" Too late. The wolf lunged. Straight at me. Everything happened instantly. 1 second she stood 30 feet away. The next she was flying toward me. Teeth bared. Eyes wild. Murder in every movement. I froze. Completely. Because I knew something everyone else didn't. I couldn't outrun her. Couldn't fight her. Couldn't survive that attack. The wolf was almost on top of me when another blur crashed into her. Kael. The impact shook the courtyard. Both wolves slammed across the ground. Growling. Snarling. Fighting. The crowd scattered. Chaos erupted. Warriors rushed forward. The Alpha shouted orders. Several wolves shifted. Dust filled the air. I stumbled backward. Heart racing. Breathless. Terrified. Kael and Vanessa crashed through a stone bench. The structure shattered instantly. The future Alpha pinned her to the ground. His massive black wolf towered above hers. Dominant. Powerful. Unyielding. A warning growl rumbled from his chest. Vanessa immediately submitted. Not willingly. Instinctively. The dominance gap between them was enormous. Several warriors quickly restrained her. The fight ended, but the damage remained. Silence slowly returned. Heavy. Shocked. Uneasy silence. The Alpha looked exhausted. The elders looked disturbed. The crowd looked completely lost. Because everything they believed about the future had just been destroyed. And nobody knew what happened next. Finally, Alpha Blackthorne spoke. Everyone leave. The order carried immediate authority. Nobody argued. Nobody questioned. Within minutes, the courtyard emptied, leaving only a handful of leaders. Kael. The Alpha. The elders. Vanessa. And me. The future of Silverfang stood at a crossroads. And everyone knew it. The Alpha stared at me for a long time. Long enough to make me uncomfortable. Long enough to make me nervous. Finally, he spoke. Come with me. My stomach dropped. The Alpha's expression revealed nothing. No anger. No approval. No judgment. Nothing. Which somehow felt worse. Because I had no idea whether I was about to be accepted or exiled. And judging by the tension surrounding everyone present, neither did they. The walk to the Alpha house felt longer than it ever had before. Nobody spoke. Not Kael. Not the elders. Not Alpha Blackthorne. Not even Vanessa. The future Luna walked under guard now, her wrists restrained with silver cuffs designed to suppress wolf abilities. The sight stunned me. Vanessa had spent years acting like she already ruled Silverfang. Now she looked like a prisoner. And somehow I couldn't bring myself to feel victorious. Only sad. Because none of this should have happened. None of it. Yet fate rarely asked for permission before changing lives. The massive doors of the Alpha house opened. Everyone entered. The doors closed behind us. And suddenly the outside world disappeared. The elders gathered around the long council table. Alpha Blackthorne took his seat at the head. Kael remained standing. I stayed near the wall. Instinctively. The place where servants belonged. The Alpha noticed immediately. His eyes lingered on me. Thoughtful. Unreadable. Then he turned toward Vanessa. Remove the cuffs. Several elders looked shocked. One immediately objected. Alpha, remove them. The command left no room for debate. Vanessa's restraints were removed. She rubbed her wrists silently. No gratitude. No apology. Only resentment. The Alpha folded his hands. What happened tonight was unacceptable. Nobody argued. Because everyone knew he was right. His gaze shifted toward Vanessa. You attacked a pack member. Vanessa's jaw tightened. She stole my future. The Alpha's expression hardened. No. Silence filled the room. The Alpha's voice became colder. The moon goddess chose Kael's mate. Vanessa looked away, refusing to accept it, refusing to surrender. The Alpha sighed heavily. For the first time, he looked older, tired, like a man watching years of expectations crumble. Then his eyes moved toward me. The room instantly became very quiet. My heart pounded. Here it comes. Judgment. Acceptance. Rejection. Something. Anything. The waiting was unbearable. Alpha Blackthorne studied me carefully, then asked a question nobody expected. How old are you? I blinked. What? Answer. 21. The Alpha nodded slowly, then looked toward Elder Rowan, the oldest wolf in Silverfang, a man whose memory stretched back decades. The Elder's eyes widened suddenly, as if he had just remembered something. Something important. Something forgotten. The Alpha noticed. So you remember too. The room fell silent. Kael frowned. What are you talking about? Neither elder answered immediately. Instead, both men looked at me. A strange sadness appeared in their eyes. The sight made me nervous. Very nervous. Finally, Elder Rowan spoke. Her mother. My breath caught. Nobody ever talked about my mother. Nobody. Not in years. Not since she died. Kael looked confused. What about her? The elder exchanged a glance with the Alpha. Then came the words that changed my life forever. Elara's mother wasn't an Omega. Silence. I stared. The room stared. Even Vanessa looked shocked. What? The elder nodded. She was born into one of Silverfang's oldest bloodlines. The floor seemed to disappear beneath me. No, that couldn't be right. My parents had been servants. Poor. Ignored. Forgotten. Everyone knew that. Didn't they? Elder Rowan sighed. No. As if reading my thoughts. Not everyone knew. My pulse thundered. The Alpha leaned back. His expression dark. Most of the truth died with your parents. The room felt smaller. Harder to breathe in. What truth? Nobody answered immediately. Which terrified me. Because bad news always arrives slowly. Finally, Elder Rowan spoke. Your mother was the daughter of an Alpha. The silence afterward felt endless. I stared, unable to process the words, unable to understand them, because they made no sense. None. At all. Kael looked just as shocked. Vanessa looked horrified. The Alpha closed his eyes briefly, then nodded. It's true. I shook my head. No. The word escaped automatically. No. Because if that were true, everything I believed about myself was wrong. Everything. The elder's expression softened. Your grandfather ruled Mooncrest Pack. The name hit me like lightning. Mooncrest. One of the oldest packs in the region. One of the strongest. One of the most respected. Impossible. Completely impossible. I don't understand. Elder Rowan sighed. Your mother fell in love with a wolf her father didn't approve of. My father. The realization struck instantly. The elder nodded. She left her pack. A painful smile touched his lips. For love. The room listened silently. My father accepted them here. The Alpha continued. But many wolves never knew who she really was. My head spun. Years. 21 years. And nobody told me. Nobody. Not once. Why? The Alpha answered that question too. Your mother asked us not to. I froze. What? She wanted a normal life. A sad smile appeared on the Alpha's face. She wanted you protected. Emotion tightened my throat. Protected. The word hurt more than it should. Because she had tried. And still lost her life. Tears threatened. I fought them back. Barely. Across the room, Kael watched me carefully. The mate bond pulsed. Comfort. Support. Strength. The connection steadied me. Just enough. Then Vanessa laughed. The sound shattered the moment. Everyone turned toward her. The future Luna looked furious. You expect me to believe this? Nobody answered. Vanessa pointed toward me. She's still an Omega. There it was. The thing Vanessa valued most. Status. Power. Rank. The Alpha's expression hardened. Being an Omega does not determine worth. The statement echoed through the room. Vanessa stared. Disbelief flashed across her face. Because she had built her entire worldview around the opposite idea. The Alpha continued. Some of the strongest wolves I've ever known were Omegas. Silence followed. Then Kael spoke. And every head turned toward him. Elara's worth has nothing to do with bloodlines. The mate bond pulsed warmly. My heart skipped. Kael's gaze never left mine. It never did. For one dangerous moment, I almost believed him. Almost believed I deserved happiness. Almost believed fate had chosen correctly. Then the doors burst open. The sound echoed through the chamber. Every wolf turned. A warrior stood in the doorway. Out of breath. Terrified. The room instantly tensed. Something was wrong. Very wrong. The warrior bowed quickly. Alpha. Alpha Blackthorne stood. What happened? The warrior swallowed hard. Then delivered news that stunned everyone. A rogue army has crossed the northern border. Silence exploded. The Alpha's expression darkened instantly. Several elders rose to their feet. Kael's eyes narrowed. A rogue army? The warrior nodded. There are hundreds. Fear spread through the room. Hundreds. Not a scouting group. Not raiders. An army. The Alpha moved immediately. Sound the emergency alarm. The warrior rushed away. Moments later, howls echoed across Silver Fong territory. Warning howls. Battle howls. War howls. Every wolf in the pack would hear them. Every wolf would know. Danger was coming. Fast. The Alpha turned toward Kael. Gather the warriors. Kael nodded. Already moving. Already thinking like an Alpha. Then the Alpha looked toward me. His expression unreadable. We'll finish this discussion later. I nodded automatically. Still overwhelmed. Still reeling from everything I had learned. But as the room erupted into action, one thing became painfully clear. The future of Silverfong was no longer the biggest problem. Because a much greater threat was approaching. An army. A war. And somewhere beyond the northern border. Something told me this invasion wasn't a coincidence. Someone was coming. Someone dangerous. And somehow, I had a feeling they were coming for me. The emergency alarms echoed throughout Silverfong territory long after midnight. Every wolf was awake. Every warrior armed themselves. Every family prepared for the possibility of battle. Fear spread quickly. Because rogue armies didn't simply appear. Not in numbers this large. Not without a reason. And certainly not without a leader. Inside the Alpha house, maps covered the council table. Scouts rushed in and out of the room. Reports arrived every few minutes, each one worse than the last. I stood quietly near the back wall while leaders discussed strategy. Old habits were difficult to break. Even after discovering my heritage, even after learning I was Kael's mate, part of me still felt like the invisible servant nobody noticed. Kael noticed. His eyes found me repeatedly throughout the meeting, checking, reassuring, making sure I was all right. The mate bond carried silent comfort between us, a connection growing stronger every day. Vanessa noticed too. The future Luna sat across the room, silent, furious, watching everything, watching me, watching Kael, watching her future disappear. If looks could kill, I would have been dead hours ago. A scout burst through the doors, breathing hard. The rogues have stopped advancing. The room fell silent. Alpha Blackthorne frowned. Why? The scout swallowed. They sent a messenger. Every wolf in the room stiffened. That was unusual. Very unusual. Rogue armies attacked. They didn't negotiate. The Alpha exchanged a look with Kael. Bring him. Minutes later, the messenger entered. The sight immediately made my skin crawl. Tall, scarred, cruel-eyed. A wolf who had spent years surrounded by violence. He walked confidently into the Alpha house. Far too confidently. Like someone who believed he held all the power. The messenger bowed mockingly. Alpha Blackthorne. The Alpha's expression remained cold. Speak. The rogue smiled, then reached inside his cloak. Several warriors immediately tensed. But he wasn't drawing a weapon. He removed a sealed letter. A black seal marked the wax. Something about it felt familiar. Dangerously familiar. The messenger placed it on the table. Our leader requests your cooperation. Kael looked disgusted. Or what? The rogue smiled wider. The expression sent chills through the room. Or silver fong burns. Silence followed. The Alpha broke the seal. Opened the letter. Began reading. His expression changed instantly. Shock. Disbelief. Recognition. The room grew tense. Very tense. Kael noticed. What is it? The Alpha didn't answer immediately. Instead, he slowly looked toward me. My stomach dropped. No. No, no, no. That look meant trouble. Big trouble. The Alpha finally spoke. The rogues aren't here for territory. Every wolf listened. The Alpha's voice became grim. They're here for Elara. The world stopped. Complete silence. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. I stared, unable to process the words. What? The Alpha held up the letter. The rogue leader is demanding custody of Elara. Chaos erupted. Kael surged to his feet. What? Several elders began shouting. Warriors exchanged confused looks. Even Vanessa seemed shocked. The Alpha read aloud. Return the daughter of Alpha Lucian's bloodline, and Silver Fong will be spared. My heart stopped. Alpha Lucian. The grandfather I had never met. The grandfather I had only learned about hours earlier. The room exploded into questions. What does this mean? Why do they want her? Who is this rogue leader? The Alpha's expression darkened. Then he spoke a name. And every elder immediately turned pale. Darius. A ripple of fear spread through the room. Kael frowned. You know him. The Alpha nodded slowly. Darius was once a beta in Mooncrest Pack. My blood turned cold. Mooncrest. Again. Everything somehow kept leading back there. The Alpha continued. Years ago, he attempted to overthrow Alpha Lucian. The room listened carefully. He failed. A grim silence followed. Darius was exiled. The pieces slowly began connecting. The Alpha's expression hardened. He swore revenge. Kael looked toward me. Realization flashed across his face. He wants Mooncrest's bloodline. The Alpha nodded. Yes. The room grew colder. Much colder. Because suddenly everything made sense. The rogues weren't invading Silverfong. They were hunting me. The realization felt unreal. Impossible. Terrifying. I had spent my entire life believing I was insignificant. Now an army was marching because of me. The irony would have been amusing if it weren't so horrifying. Kael moved instantly. No. Every head turned toward him. The future Alpha's expression was absolute. Cold. Dangerous. Protective. No one touches her. The mate bond surged powerfully. Warmth flooded my chest. Even now, even with war approaching, he chose me. Again. The Alpha studied his son carefully, then nodded. Agreed. Relief spread through the room. Briefly, then another scout burst through the doors. Panic covered his face. Alpha. The room immediately tensed again. The scout looked terrified. What happened? The young warrior swallowed hard, then delivered the worst news yet. The rogues have captured our northern patrol. Silence. They left survivors. The Alpha's jaw tightened. Why? The scout's face turned pale. So they could deliver a message. Nobody liked the sound of that. The Alpha folded his arms. What message? The scout looked directly at me. Fear filled his eyes. Then he repeated the words exactly. At sunrise, we take the girl. The room went silent. Dead silent. The threat hung in the air like a blade. Heavy. Cold. Certain. At sunrise. Less than 12 hours away. Kael's wolf surged beneath his skin. I felt it through the mate bond. Fury. Protectiveness. Possessiveness. The future Alpha looked ready to tear apart an entire army. And honestly, he probably could. But even Kael couldn't fight hundreds of rogues alone. The Alpha turned toward his commanders. Prepare the pack. Warriors immediately rushed to obey. Orders filled the room. Strategies formed. Defenses organized. Battle plans developed. Within minutes, Silverfang transformed into a fortress preparing for war. Yet through all the activity, one thing kept bothering me. One question. One terrible feeling. Something wasn't right. I looked at the letter again. Then at the Alpha. Then at Kael. And suddenly I understood. Darius doesn't want me. The room quieted. Several wolves frowned. The Alpha looked toward me. What? I took a shaky breath. He could have kidnapped me years ago. Nobody answered. Because I was right. If Darius truly wanted me, he had decades to act. Yet he hadn't. Not until now. The Alpha's expression slowly changed. Realization. Concern. Fear. The same realization spreading through my own mind. Darius doesn't want me. My voice became quieter. He wants something else. Silence. Then Kael asked the question nobody wanted to ask. What? Before anyone could answer, a howl echoed across the territory. Long. Terrifying. Victorious. Every wolf in the room froze. The sound came from inside Silverfang territory. Not outside. Inside. The Alpha's eyes widened. No. Another howl followed. Then another. Then screams. Real screams. Panic exploded outside. Warriors rushed toward windows. Chaos erupted. The Alpha's expression turned deadly. They're already here. My blood ran cold. The rogues had somehow breached Silverfang's defenses. And judging by the screams outside, the battle had already begun. The Alpha house exploded into motion. Warriors rushed toward the doors. Commanders barked orders. Alarms sounded across the territory. Outside, terrified howls echoed beneath the moonlit sky. The battle had begun. And nobody knew how the rogues had breached Silverfang's defenses. Kael immediately moved to my side. His hand found mine. Strong. Steady. Protective. The mate bond surged between us. A promise without words. I won't let anything happen to you. The connection nearly brought tears to my eyes. Not because I doubted him. Because nobody had ever protected me before. Not like this. Not without wanting something in return. The Alpha turned toward his commanders. Secure the southern gates. Yes, Alpha. Protect the elders. Immediately. Find the breach point. Warriors rushed away. The room emptied quickly. Within minutes, only a handful remained. Alpha Blackthorne. Kael. Vanessa. Several elite warriors. And me. A deafening explosion shook the building. The walls trembled. Dust rained from the ceiling. Everyone froze. The Alpha's expression darkened. They brought siege weapons. Fear spread instantly. Rogues rarely possessed siege equipment. They were raiders. Bandits. Killers. Not organized armies. This was different. Far more dangerous. Another explosion thundered outside. Closer. Much closer. Then the doors burst open. A bloodied warrior stumbled inside. His face was pale. Terrified. Alpha. The warrior nearly collapsed. What happened? The answer came immediately. Betrayal. Silence. The Alpha's eyes narrowed. What? The warrior swallowed hard. The rogues didn't break through. A horrible feeling settled in my stomach. The warrior's voice shook. Someone opened the gates. The room went deathly silent. Traitor. The word hung unspoken between everyone present. A traitor inside Silverfang. Helping the rogues. Helping Darius. The Alpha looked furious. Kael looked murderous. Then something unexpected happened. Vanessa looked away. The movement lasted less than a second. But I saw it. So did Kael. His eyes narrowed instantly. Vanessa. The future Luna froze. The room became still. Very still. Kael took a step forward. Look at me. Vanessa didn't move. Didn't speak. Didn't breathe. The silence became its own answer. The Alpha's face darkened. No. Vanessa closed her eyes. And everyone understood. The future Luna had betrayed Silverfang. Gasps erupted. Several warriors looked horrified. The Alpha looked devastated. Because betrayal from enemies was expected. Betrayal from family wasn't. Why? The question escaped before I could stop it. Vanessa slowly looked toward me. The hatred in her eyes had evolved into something worse. Obsession. I was supposed to be Luna. Silence followed. Then she laughed. A broken laugh. A dangerous laugh. I spent my entire life preparing for it. Tears filled her eyes. My entire life. The Alpha looked sick. Kael looked disappointed. Vanessa pointed directly at me. Then spoke the truth she'd hidden for years. You took everything. I flinched. Because part of me understood her pain. Not her actions. But her pain. The future she imagined had been stolen. The life she expected had vanished. The problem was that I never wanted any of it. Not the title. Not the power. Not the attention. Only Kael. And even that still felt impossible. Vanessa's voice became cold. Darius promised me something. The Alpha's eyes widened. No. Vanessa nodded. He promised me Luna status. The room erupted. Several warriors cursed. Others looked disgusted. The Alpha looked heartbroken. Vanessa continued. He said if I delivered Elara. Her gaze locked onto mine. He would make me queen beside him. The insanity of the statement stunned everyone. Including Vanessa herself, judging by her expression. Because somewhere deep down, she knew she'd been manipulated. Used. Lied to. But admitting that would mean admitting she destroyed her life for nothing. So instead, she clung to the fantasy. Kael's voice turned ice cold. You endangered the entire pack. Vanessa looked away, unable to deny it. The silence that followed was interrupted by another explosion. Closer. The Alpha house shook violently. Then came screams. Many screams. The battle was reaching them. Fast. The Alpha moved immediately. Enough. His command silenced everyone. We deal with her later. Several warriors restrained Vanessa. This time she didn't resist. Perhaps she finally understood how badly she'd failed. Perhaps not. Either way, it no longer mattered. The war had arrived. A terrifying howl echoed outside. Then another. Then dozens more. The Alpha's expression darkened. They're attacking the central square. Kael immediately turned toward me. Stay here. No. The word surprised even me. Kael blinked. What? I took a deep breath. Then another. Fear still lived inside me. But something stronger was growing. Courage. For years I had hidden. For years I had accepted whatever happened to me. Not anymore. I won't hide. The room stared. Probably because nobody expected those words from me. Least of all me. Kael's eyes softened. Pride flashed across his face. The sight made my heart race. Then another voice interrupted. A familiar voice. A terrifying voice. Coming from outside. Amplified by power. By dominance. By rage. Daughter of Lucian. Every wolf froze. The voice echoed across Silverfong. Deep. Powerful. Ancient. Dangerous. Darius. The rogue leader had arrived. Silence spread. The voice came again. Louder this time. Come out. A chill raced down my spine. Darius sounded confident. Far too confident. As if victory was already his. As if the battle were merely a formality. Kael immediately stepped in front of me. Protective. Possessive. Ready to fight. The mate bond surged. Powerfully. Suddenly, something strange happened. A sharp pain exploded behind my eyes. I gasped. The room blurred. Kael caught me instantly. Elara. Voices sounded distant. Muted. Strange. The pain intensified. Then images appeared. Flashes. Memories. Not mine. Someone else's. An old alpha. A silver wolf. A hidden chamber. A crystal. A secret. The vision vanished. I stumbled. Breathing hard. The room slowly returned. Everyone stared. Concern filled their faces. Especially Kael's. What happened? I looked up. Heart pounding. Because somehow I knew the answer. Darius doesn't want me. The same realization returned. Stronger now. Clearer. The alpha frowned. You said that before. I nodded. Because it's true. The vision lingered. Pieces falling into place. A hidden chamber. A crystal. An ancient secret. Something my grandfather had hidden. Something Darius desperately wanted. My blood turned cold. The rogues weren't hunting a person. They were hunting a key. And somehow, I was that key. Outside, Darius howled again. Victorious. Certain. Dangerously certain. As if he already knew what I had just discovered. And suddenly I understood something terrifying. The final battle wasn't about becoming Luna. It wasn't about Vanessa. It wasn't even about the mate bond. It was about an ancient secret powerful enough to start a war. And before dawn arrived, Darius intended to claim it. Even if he had to burn Silverfong to the ground. The world seemed to hold its breath. Outside, Silverfong Pack was at war. The sounds of battle echoed through the night. Howls. Roars. Explosions. The clash of wolves fighting for their homes. Yet inside the Alpha House, a different battle had begun. A battle for truth. A battle for destiny. A battle for the future. Kael's hands remained firmly on my shoulders. His golden eyes searched mine. Concern. Protection. Trust. The mate bond pulsed between us stronger than ever. What did you see? I took a shaky breath. The vision still lingered. Fragments of memories. Pieces of a puzzle hidden for decades. I think my grandfather hid something. The Alpha stepped closer. What? A crystal. Silence filled the room. Then Elder Rowan's face turned pale. Completely pale. The reaction immediately caught everyone's attention. The Alpha stared at him. You know what she's talking about. The Elder slowly nodded. Fear filled his ancient eyes. Real fear. The kind that only comes from old secrets. Very old secrets. The Moonstone. The name echoed through the room. Every elder stiffened. Every warrior frowned. Kael looked confused. The Moonstone. Elder Rowan swallowed. Then spoke. Centuries ago, the Moonstone united the original wolf clans. Silence followed. The stone amplifies alpha power. My stomach tightened. The elder continued. It can strengthen entire packs. Another pause. But in the wrong hands. The room became deathly quiet. It can enslave them. The implication hit everyone simultaneously. Darius didn't want revenge. He wanted power. Unlimited power. The Alpha's expression darkened. Lucian hid the stone. Elder Rowan nodded. To prevent another war. Everything finally made sense. My grandfather hadn't protected a treasure. He had protected the world. And somehow that responsibility had reached me. Outside, Darius howled again. Closer now. Much closer. The battle was reaching the Alpha House. Time was running out. Kael immediately turned toward his father. We have to move the civilians. The Alpha nodded. Already happening. Another explosion rocked the building. Dust rained from the ceiling. The rogues were breaking through. Fast. Very fast. Then something unexpected happened. Vanessa spoke. Everyone turned. The former future Luna sat quietly between two guards. No arrogance remained. No superiority. No pride. Only regret. I know where the rogues are heading. Silence followed. The Alpha narrowed his eyes. What? Vanessa lowered her gaze. Darius told me. Nobody trusted her. Not anymore. She knew it too. Pain flashed across her face. Then she looked directly at me. For the first time since we met, the hatred was gone. Only exhaustion remained. The hidden chamber is beneath Mooncrest Falls. The room froze. A strange feeling passed through me. Recognition. The vision. The waterfall. The hidden chamber. She was telling the truth. I saw it. My voice surprised everyone. The Alpha looked toward me. You saw the location? I nodded. The vision showed me. Kael's jaw tightened. Darius knows where it is. Vanessa nodded. Yes. The former future Luna closed her eyes. He was always planning this. The realization struck hard. Vanessa had never been his partner. She had been his pawn. Used. Manipulated. Discarded. The same way she had used others for years. A painful lesson. But perhaps a necessary one. The Alpha turned toward Kael. We stop him tonight. Kael immediately nodded. Agreed. Then he looked at me. And everyone knew the truth. I was part of this mission. Because without me, the hidden chamber would remain sealed. Fear tightened my chest. The final confrontation was approaching. And somehow fate had placed me at the center of it. An hour later, we stood before Mooncrest Falls. The waterfall thundered beneath the moonlight. Ancient. Beautiful. Powerful. Dozens of warriors surrounded the area. Silverfang's strongest fighters. The Alpha stood at the front. Kael beside him. I stood between them. Protected from every direction. Yet somehow, I still felt exposed. The mate bond hummed steadily. Kael's presence calmed me. The sound of approaching wolves shattered the silence. Darius emerged from the forest. Hundreds of rogues followed. The sight was terrifying. An army. A real army. Scarred wolves. Battle-hardened warriors. Killers. All loyal to one man. Darius smiled. The expression made my skin crawl. There she is. His eyes locked onto me. Hungry. Obsessed. Victorious. As though he already owned everything. The Alpha stepped forward. You've lost. Darius laughed. No. His gaze shifted toward the waterfall. I've already won. The rogue leader raised his hand. The ground shook. A hidden stone doorway emerged behind the waterfall. Gasps erupted. The chamber. The secret chamber. The vision had been real. Darius smiled wider. The bloodline opened it. My heart stopped. Not intentionally. Just by being here. The chamber had recognized me. Recognized my heritage. Recognized my grandfather's blood. The door slowly opened. Silver light spilled outward. Ancient. Powerful. Beautiful. The moonstone. Everyone stared. Even the rogues. Even the warriors. The crystal glowed from deep within the chamber. Like captured moonlight. Like magic itself. Darius moved instantly. Straight toward it. The battle exploded. Silverfang warriors charged. Rogues attacked. Chaos erupted across the clearing. Kael shifted mid-stride. A massive black wolf launched directly at Darius. The impact shook the ground. Both wolves crashed through stone. Snarling. Fighting. The Alpha joined the battle. Warriors clashed everywhere. The final war had begun. I stood frozen for one terrible second. Then something inside me changed. The old Elara would have hidden. The old Elara would have waited for someone else to save the day. Not anymore. I ran. Straight toward the chamber. Straight toward the moonstone. Darius saw me immediately. His eyes widened. No. He broke away from Kael. Charging toward me. Too fast. Far too fast. I reached the crystal first. Moonlight exploded around me. The instant my hand touched the stone, the vision returned. Only stronger. 1,000 voices. 1,000 wolves. Generations of alphas. Generations of Lunas. A legacy. A promise. A responsibility. The Moonstone wasn't a weapon. It never had been. It was a protector. A guardian. A test. And Darius had already failed. The crystal responded. A wave of silver light burst outward. The entire valley shook. Every wolf stopped moving. Every wolf stared. The light engulfed Darius. The rogue leader screamed. The sound echoed through the mountains. Then the light vanished. Silence followed. Darius collapsed. Defeated. Broken. Powerless. The battle ended instantly. The rogues stared. Then slowly surrendered. One by one. The war was over. Just like that. Over. 3 months later. Silver Fang Pack looked different. Stronger. Happier. United. The scars of war remained. But so did hope. Vanessa had accepted exile. Voluntarily. Before leaving, she came to see me. For a long time, neither of us spoke. Then she surprised me. "I'm sorry." The words sounded genuine. Painfully genuine. I nodded. Because some wounds never fully healed. But forgiveness wasn't the same as forgetting. Vanessa understood. Then she left. And began a new life elsewhere. Perhaps a better one. Perhaps not. That part of her story belonged to her. As for me, my story finally belonged to me. The pack no longer saw me as worthless. Not because of my bloodline. Not because of the Moonstone. Not because I became Luna. But because they finally saw who I had always been. And for the first time, I saw it too. The future Luna who once called me worthless had lost everything she thought mattered. Yet in the end, I realized something important. The greatest victory wasn't winning Kael. It wasn't becoming Luna. It wasn't discovering my heritage. The greatest victory was learning my worth never depended on someone else's opinion. Not Vanessa's. Not the pack's. Not anyone's. Worth isn't given. It's recognized. And mine had been there all along, waiting for me to believe it. 1 year later, the great hall overflowed with celebration. Music. Laughter. Joy. Silver Fang Pack gathered beneath the full moon. Not for war. Not for politics. For a mating ceremony. My mating ceremony. Kael stood beside me. Hand in hand. Heart beside heart. Soul beside soul. The mate bond glowed brighter than ever. The Alpha smiled proudly. The elders looked pleased. The entire pack cheered. And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel invisible. I didn't feel weak. I didn't feel worthless. I felt loved. Kael leaned closer. His voice soft enough for only me to hear. "Do you remember the first thing Vanessa called you?" I laughed. Unfortunately. His smile deepened. She was wrong. Emotion tightened my throat. The moon goddess's blessing washed over us. Warm. Gentle. Certain. Kael kissed my forehead. Then whispered the words that completed our story. "You were always worthy." And beneath the light of the full moon, I finally believed it. Redheart enjoyed this werewolf romance? If you loved The Future Luna Called Me Worthless until her mate chose me instead, don't forget to Wolfface subscribe to the channel for more emotional werewolf romance stories. Redheart like the video to support the pack. Speech balloon comment below. What was your favorite moment? Vanessa's downfall, the mate bond reveal, or Elara becoming Luna? Bell turn on notifications so you never miss the next Alpha King romance adventure.